I was scared. Like I was intimidated by her. I was like, I can't believe Reese Witherspoon sending me video messages.
What's up, everyone? It's Chicks in the Office with Rhea and Fran, giving you that Friday energy on a Wednesday. We have a really awesome episode today. Ashton Kutcher is on the podcast. He was so much fun. Really such an awesome guy. Great interview. Would love to have him and Mila back at some point. Please, Mila, come on the podcast. Please.
Yeah.
That would be so much fun. And it's just so exciting when you have that big of a guest come on and everything goes as planned. And it's always the really big guests that they're always really good.
Yeah.
And for a reason. They have that it factor. They are stars, and they are stars for a reason.
You just want to talk, like, you could talk for so long. We ran out of time. There was so much more that we still, I feel like, wanted to talk about. But we got him for a little extra time, which was nice. But now it's like there were so many, after the fact, there's so many things that I keep like remembering, or I'm like, oh, like that, like if we did that TikTok, that would have been funny. Or
yeah, we
like
couldn't fit.
We tried to, we could have if we ended the interview early, which we just couldn't do.
No,
it's good you didn't, because the end of the interview was great.
It's a great interview, I think.
Yeah, I would say
had a lot of fun.
Listen through the whole thing. The ending is really funny.
Yeah.
And yeah, there were a couple of things we wanted to do with him. I wanted to do a Jackie Kelso TikTok, but we didn't have enough time, and that's what happens. But really, really great interview. I was so excited about that one. I literally couldn't sleep the night before. God bless you.
Guys, I am down bad. I don't know. I'm having some I'm having some kind of allergy attack.
We're playing catch.
Yeah, I feel like I gotta keep my distance over here.
No, but I'm telling you, like, this is, I know when I am sick and have like a cold, and I know when it's like allergies or something.
Mm-hmm.
Not to be gross, I already told Sarah this, but it's like, when you're sneezing and blowing your nose and it's like that gross like green, like you're sick. That's when you have like a virus.
Sick? Right.
No,
but sometimes
the clear, like
sometimes you could sneeze clear and blow your nose clear and you're still sick.
Yeah, but it's just, I know that's normally when it's more like allergy driven, and I just feel it in my head, like the allergy congestion with the, like, my eyes
Maybe
feel
you have
like
a sinus
heavy
infection.
I don't know. I got something.
We've been going back and forth with being sick for like a week now.
I know. And I felt okay Monday, and I went to get my hair done. And when I got home, like, my nose was a running faucet. Like, I'm like, am I allergic to dyeing my hair or something? But it's not like I've never done this before. I've done this many times and never had that reaction.
Well, you were really sick over the weekend, so maybe it went away for a little bit and came back. The same thing happened to me. I was sick and then it went away, and then it came back. It went away.
Maybe I just didn't rest enough. I don't know.
I think that's what's happening. I think we're just doing a little toss back and forth.
Total ping pong situation here.
But you know what?
So I apologize if I sound a little congested slash am sniffling.
It's the season for it. I was in the Cutting Stems chat last night talking with the lovely people who watch our show, who I love getting on the YouTube chat and talking to the people, and everyone was sick. Someone had COVID, someone had an ear infection, somebody had a fever.
You said your ear was clogged, right?
My ear is still clogged. My right side is fucked up.
That's
I had a
worst.
migraine and an ear clog situation yesterday.
Yeah.
My ear is still clogged. I've been yawning like crazy because I'm trying to get it to pop.
Yep.
I'm just saying, I think everyone's sick. It's the time of the year. It's the winter. This doesn't happen in the summer, Yeah. So that's okay.
Yep.
We're going to get past it. We are going to move along. And like I said, the rest of the episode is where this one really shines. So I know people are skipping to the Ashton part anyway.
Yeah, no one wants to hear about my sniffles.
I would too. I would skip to Ashton.
Did you like All American Rejects, the band?
Yeah, why?
Because you just said "Move Along" and made me think of that.
Move along,
great
move
song.
Along.
She's the man.
Yeah, that is a great song. All right, let's get into the topics.
Although, you know what, one that I always hated, that was just so overplayed.
Their song, "Dirty Little Secret."
No.
What's it called?
The one that was on the radio all the time.
Gives You Hell?
Gives You Hell.
Gives You Hell.
Oh,
wait, that was my favorite one.
That's my favorite one, I think.
And I used to make that my away message when in 6th grade when boys would be mean to me.
That's such a good song.
I hope you see my
It
face
Ends
and
Tonight.
It gives you hell.
Remember?
And it ends tonight.
What happened to them?
Yeah, you can't go on forever.
But they were so good. Like
You see my face, I hope it gives you hell. Hope it gives you hell.
One
When
of
you walk
them,
my way,
I believe,
gives you hell. Hope it gives you.
they put out a
is-
single in 2020.
You find a man that's worth the damn and treats you well.
The music video for that is really cool. Have you ever seen that?
No.
It's a good
Yes,
music
I'm
video.
sure a long time ago, but not recently. Like I can't picture it in my head.
They
oh,
just
that
don't
was
make-
actually wrong.
They don't make bands like that anymore.
I'll give you my dirty little secret. Nobody
that's a
see this is
good
what I'm
one.
saying. Nobody
She's
wants
the
to hear
man.
me singing. They are fast forwarding.
But I think
to
it was
Ashton
it
Kutcher.
must have been Gives You Hell that was
definitely-
that was definitely the one that was on the radio all the time that actually would annoy the shit out of me because it just anytime you would get into the car it was on the radio. It was just so
them and-
overplayed.
There was
Man, I
a period
love that
too where
one.
like the Fray, it was like the Fray All American Rejects just like owned the radio.
How to say
Yeah, I love the Fray.
Over my head. That was on the radio every 10 minutes.
Yeah. I feel like a radio
Snow
station
Patrol.
right now.
But like I don't know any Snow Patrol songs other than Chasing Cars.
There was another one. There was an Irish band that I listened to all the time that had like one song, or maybe that was the Fray.
The Fray?
Are they Irish?
I think they might be actually. The Fray. They have some great songs. Never Say Never.
Oh no, they're American.
30H3, Don't Trust a Hoe. That
I was gonna
isn't
say
okay.
that's not a Fray song.
No.
What
no.
am I? Who am I thinking of? The ones that were Irish. This is gonna be a terrible.
You
This is
found-
gonna be a terrible Google search.
You Found Me.
Oh, Snow Patrol.
Snow Patrol.
It was Snow Patrol. It was Snow Patrol.
They're
Oh, the
Irish?
script. The script.
Oh,
Script.
Break Even.
The script.
Oh, I
Can
know
I
that
tell
was-
you guys?
That's who I'm thinking of. The script.
That's a big bar mitzvah song. Their one song.
Yeah, yeah,
Can I tell you guys
Pictures of You.
a secret?
yeah.
What was that from?
It's not really a secret. It's kind of a confession. I don't really know what it is, but you know
The man who can't be moved.
the Break Even.
Yeah.
You don't break even. The
Yeah.
script.
Uh-huh.
I honestly can't fucking tell the story because I'm gonna start crying. Even though, did you ever have? This is gonna sound so fucked up, but I know people out there can relate to this. You ever have something that happened to you right in your life that was very sad, or whatever it was, a sad situation,
Yeah.
but you knew if you told the story to people, you can get like a little bit of sympathy out of them as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Like it was a little bit of both. Like, yes, it made you sad. And at the same time, when you're younger, if you wanted a little attention, like I'm talking younger, like
Okay.
7th, 8th grade.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
No,
I'm
I
not,
get what you're
I don't
saying.
do this now.
I understand what you're saying. You're looking for sympathy.
You're looking for sympathy in some
Yeah.
way. I honestly can't even say this. Like it's,
Now you gotta spit it out.
I'm gonna feel like that's so fucked up.
Let's hear it.
We might actually have to cut this.
I don't think it's gonna be that fucked up.
So my mom, when I was in 7th grade, she had a really bad, I don't even know how to describe it, but she ended up finding that she had endometriosis in a really awful way. She was in the hospital and they thought she had food poisoning, and Noah's not even listening to my story. He's not even going to be able to judge if we should cut this or not. So my mom, they thought she had food poisoning and they sent her home and she couldn't stop throwing up. And she went back the next day, it was Easter Sunday, still throwing up, still in pain. The surgeon was like, all right, we'll keep her here, but I'm going to go home. He went home, ate his Easter Sunday dinner, and then called and was like, listen, this isn't sitting right with me. I feel like there's something up with your wife. To call my dad. I'm going to head back. They did emergency surgery on my mom immediately when he got back, and they found that the endometriosis was like wrapped around her intestines, her colon, like wrapped around all the inside parts of her body. They had to cut out
Yes.
all these different parts of her body, and basically said if she would have waited like one more day, she would have died because the intestines would have literally, like it would have exploded inside of her. And so,
Which, by the way, not for us to underplay that story. I have heard that part before.
yes,
I didn't want people to be like, Jesus.
No,
Ria's talking about her mom dying. Friends, like, yeah, I know.
there's more.
I've heard.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's more to the story.
Okay. So that base I have heard. Okay.
I think around the same time, and that was a very sad thing that happened. And it was Easter Sunday. I remember like they were in the hospital. We didn't have Easter Sunday.
Yeah.
And it was a very scary time. My mom was in the hospital for a little while. Like they were like, literally she would have died, like exploded, whatever. She got it figured out. But around that time, Break Even by The Script came out, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And so whenever that song would come on,
that's around the time Break Even came out when I was in like 8th grade.
Remind me, and so I was in 7th grade.
Yeah. No,
and it would
6th, 5th.
Wait, Break Even came out when you were
Break Even came out in 2008.
2008. So
I was in 8th grade.
You were in 8th grade?
Uh-huh. If it depends on what year it was.
Was it like?
It depends on when. If it was in the spring. Oh no. Okay. I was a freshman in high school.
And it came out in the
November
spring.
2008.
Okay, whatever. Around that time, this song was playing on the radio a lot. Okay, I don't know, and so it would remind me of that time of my mom.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, I felt like whenever that song was brought up, I had to tell people that story. You know what I mean? Like I would be like, "Oh,
my
this
mom
song
almost died."
like really reminds me of my mom almost dying."
Yeah.
And it was almost just like, "Why did you do that?" You know what I mean? Like, why did you have to bring down the mood with other people and tell them?
You were fishing for
sympathy. I was
fishing
like,
for some attention.
When you reflect back on your life and you're like, like why
you wanted people to feel bad for you in that moment.
And I did. And like it's more of like a confession. Like, yes, it was really sad.
Yeah.
But there is no reason I had to tell people every time that song came on that it reminded me that my mom almost died. Like it's
Which
such
you just did.
it's I know, but I
know.
but I'm admitting to the story. Like
You did that earlier during trivia with another song.
No, I will say though,
What
if you dig a
song?
little deeper into that, no, it wasn't a song. It was about
What was it?
about a movie.
Oh,
It was about
movie.
Groundhog's Day.
Oh, Groundhog.
Groundhog's Day, but that wasn't
That
about
was
anybody
not-
dying.
No,
so
no,
I
I'm
was
just
making
saying,
a
I feel
stupid
like
joke.
It's just like processing an event like that when you're young is really hard. So it's still like a way for a young person to be like, you don't know how to handle it. So you're like,
So
I got to talk about the time that happened.
Right, so I use that song as like, because I remember in high school specifically, like my high school boyfriend wanting to tell him about what happened with my mom, but being like, oh, this song just like really reminds me of the time my mom almost died. It's just, I look back, I cringe. I'm like, why? Like you used your mom being really sick.
But that's the power of music, which is awesome. Like it takes you back to like a moment in time.
And so this song has taken me back to not only that, but also to the fact that I used to talk about that song all the time.
There you go.
You know, there's many layers to it.
Yep.
And we can keep that in, I think.
100%.
What was the problem with that?
I started getting super embarrassed as I went along because I don't want people to be like, wow, you were you. But I think everybody as a kid can look back on some things that they would say to people and be like, why was I going around saying that all the time?
And who wasn't looking for attention at those ages?
And what's fucked up was because it actually did happen to my mom. Was very sad.
Yes,
but I was like, hey, does anybody want to feel bad for me?
Yeah.
But she's good. She's fine now.
Yes.
What a ride that was.
Yeah.
It was a ride.
We went from like, how did that even start? Oh, I said, did you like move along or something? And then
well, I said move
into
along. And you
music.
said you like All American Rejects.
Yeah. And then
which made
it turned into.
You brought up the fray, which made me think of the script because the script. I had a
Is
very.
that Selena Gomez game?
Well, I had just a really funny phase where like the script was like really popular from that one album, and then they came out with an album after that in I don't even know when, and I loved that album. Like I listened to that album so much, and it was just like not like an album that everybody listened to. So the Science and Faith came out in 2010, but it was number 3, which came out in 2012, which I think was kind of when things started to like go a little downhill of just attention wise. But I listened to that album a lot. Anyway,
sorry about that story.
Please fast forward through all of this and just listen to Ashton Kutcher.
No
I
one
don't even
listened to
know
that.
why.
They're already listening to Ashton
I don't
Kutcher.
even know why we're still talking.
I don't know either. All right, let's get into the topics. We're going to be talking about a fun story. It's 20 years of How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Matthew McConaughey told a story about how he took that role. Harry Styles' dancers were spun the wrong way at the Grammy stage on the turntables, which threw them for a loop. And Alex Cooper decided to trick everybody with her Call Her Daddy promo, and we didn't enjoy that. And so we're going to be talking about that as well as Cutting Stems will be put on this episode.
No
talking
Trent.
about Monday's episode, no Trent, unfortunately, and a great interview with Ashton Kutcher. So let's get into it with the topics. We all know that stress can take a toll on your body, not only draining you of vital energy, but making you magnesium deficient. I've been seeing this a ton all over the internet, people talking about how important magnesium is for you and realizing that we all may be dealing with a magnesium deficiency. This deficiency can lead to higher levels of anxiety, irritability, trouble sleeping, and low energy. It can even contribute to muscle cramps. That's why they recommend you supplement with magnesium daily. You can experience a number of positive health benefits from getting enough magnesium, including better sleep, more energy, healthy blood pressure, less irritability, stronger bones, reduced muscle cramping, even fewer migraines. But to experience these health benefits, you have to get the right kinds of magnesium. There are actually 7 unique forms of magnesium, and you must get all of them if you want to experience its calming, stress-relieving effects. But Magnesium Breakthrough by Biooptimizers is the only organic full-spectrum magnesium supplement that includes all 7 forms of magnesium in one bottle. For an exclusive offer, go to magbreakthrough.com/chicks. In addition to the discount you get by using promo code chicks, you can also unlock special gifts with purchase with retail values of at least $20. This is a limited time offer for select orders, so go to magbreakthrough.com/chicks. That's magbreakthrough.com/chicks right now. So How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days turned 20 years. I think it's one of the best rom-coms of all time. And
Do you?
Yes, I do. And Matthew
We've got a big dog walk draft coming up for
Yes.
those who have listened to those from the Barstool Chicago guys. We did rom-coms.
And Matthew McConaughey told an interesting story, which sounded fake, but I don't think he's lying, that he was unsure whether or not he was going to take the role of How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Kate Hudson also said that originally the role was going to Gwyneth Paltrow, which I'm so happy went to Kate Hudson.
Yeah.
And Matthew McConaughey was unsure if he was going to take this role, and he was walking down Hollywood Boulevard or Sunset Boulevard, one of those.
One of the boulevards.
One of those in LA. And a fortune teller came up to him and said, that's a good one.
Thank you.
Fortune teller came up to him and said, can I tell your fortune? And he said, yeah, sure. And the guy said, you're thinking about doing this romantic movie, this movie. You should do it. It's going to change your life. And Matthew McConaughey, the next day, he said, I think I just took it the next day. And I don't know if somebody from the movie paid that guy to come up to me and do that, but it did change my life.
Yeah.
And we are forever grateful of that fortune teller to tell Matthew McConaughey to do that movie.
By the way,
because
not
it's one of his best.
Not really going out on a limb for that fortune teller too, to be like, hey, Matthew McConaughey, you should do that romantic movie, because he was doing romantic movies at that time.
Like Matthew McConaughey should totally do that movie you're thinking about doing.
Yeah.
But thank God he did.
I can't believe it's 20 years. That movie stands the test of time. It still is great every play. Catherine Hahn gets funnier and funnier when you watch that movie, I think too. And Kate Hudson and Matthew McConaughey did a Instagram Live, which I actually watched. She saved it on her Instagram. I watched the whole thing this morning when I was getting ready, which was just a delight, because obviously they're so sweet. And Matthew McConaughey, he looked like he's somewhere beautiful. I don't know where the hell he is. But they're just like genuine souls. They're catching up. How's your family? Oh, I saw your mom. Oh, this is it's very sweet. Talking about their favorite. Kate Hudson seems to remember more from the movie than Matthew McConaughey. I don't know how many times Matthew McConaughey's rewatched it, but Kate Hudson definitely had more that she could recall from the movie. But they both just love that movie so much. They were talking about how they came up with that pose for the movie poster, because Matthew McConaughey was saying such an iconic pose, and it's been used in so many other romantic comedy posters since they did it. And they just were talking about their chemistry and how they have this free spirit, both of them, and they just connect so well. And even when they're kind of pushing each other's buttons, they do it just enough where it brings out the best in them for the movies. And they ended it with saying wouldn't it be nice for us to do something together again? Which
it would be very nice.
I'm sure everyone would love to see. So maybe that's something that they could already be talking about or putting out there to you know, they're like Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore, you know? You want them to do those movies together. They just create magic, the two of them together, whether you like Fool's Gold or not. It's
Pretty good movie. Not the best.
Not the best, but like if they
Happy to see them together.
Yeah, if they wanted to revisit somehow doing some kind of movie, I think everyone would be on board.
Yeah, I totally agree with
Did anyone
that.
say
I love
Ghost
both
of
of them.
Girlfriends Past in your draft?
No.
Did you like that movie?
I do like that movie.
I like that movie. It's not like
It's silly.
it's not all time, but it's,
yeah,
it's a
no,
good
it's
movie.
silly. But that is a Ghost Girlfriend's Past is Jennifer Gardner
Yeah,
and Matthew McConaughey. That's a good one. Yeah.
I love the both of them. I love Kate Hudson. I love Matthew McConaughey. I think they're two of the best actors of our time.
It's a very
I really do.
It's a very sweet 30-minute Instagram live if you just like want to hear
watch that
people
later
talk
tonight.
about how to lose a guy in 10 days and they just like love each other. It's just very sweet.
I love the both of them.
Yeah.
Harry Styles at the Grammys the other night had a not so great performance, which we talked about, and it turns out there were some mishaps. The
We got
dancers
the clarity that we were looking for.
were spun around on a turntable in a way that they were not expecting.
They
And
went the wrong way.
that'll fuck you up.
They said
I'm no background dancer, but
whichever way it was going, there's multiple videos of different dancers talking about it. They learned the whole choreography counterclockwise, and then when it started, it went clockwise. And they had no time to be able to be like, dude, this is going the wrong way, to like the technician on the side of the stage. And they had to, no wonder it looked terrible. Had to like,
now it makes
on
sense.
the fly. That makes because when it opened, it looked like no one was moving. It was like, what is happening? And now we know they were completely turned around. The fact that they even saved it at all is very impressive.
yeah, it is. That would put me in a tizzy. I think I would
Like,
just.
I thought
I think I would
they'd
just
all
go.
just fall
I think I would just go
into each other.
I would just let loose. Like I'd be like, fuck it, impromptu dance.
Yeah.
I think it would have been funny
You
if he
have
was
to
just
remember-
like, this is going the wrong way.
You have to like.
It would have been if he
do everything
probably
backwards?
you know he's performing at the Grammys, he doesn't want to, but I feel like a more vetted artist would be like, this is going the wrong way, let's restart that.
Yeah.
I also saw that because everyone has decided that they're a fucking lip reader these days. I don't know who.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know who decided they're the expert in lip reading, but everyone claims
There are expert lip readers, but not the ones that are claiming to be.
Not the ones that are on TikTok.
Yeah.
And so they're
I
like,
always fall for it though. I'm like, oh my god, that's what
so
they're
they're like there's been 9,000 different like J.Lo and Ben Affleck like, oh my god, she told him he's drinking too much, or but like it's just that's been dubbed so many times, but we're just like really digging into everyone's interactions, especially from this Grammys, so much more than I feel like we ever have. And the one that I am buying into is there was a clip of Harry and Taylor Swift talking. And you kind of see Harry like motion like this, like in a circle, in a circular motion. And then there's like a pause. And then Taylor goes like, oh, like she like puts her hand over her mouth. So it's like, so they were like, oh, he's telling her that it was going the wrong way. And then she was like, oh my God, that one I believe. Like that one makes sense
Yeah.
to me.
That's so relatable.
Like, and
That would add
anytime
up.
like you're making this motion, like he was like, oh, it's supposed to go that way.
Yeah. Why else would he
But,
be
like,
making?
Yeah.
I could see Harry like that is so embarrassing for him in his head, and then he goes back into the audience. He feels like he has to tell everyone. Like
I think that's why
That
he was
is-
off.
That is so relatable when something happens to you.
And
that
everyone has to know, like, hey,
you go around telling everyone
Everybody.
what happened to you because before you could beat them to the punch. It's the Eminem
Yeah.
thing. You want to get there before they get you and feel like, oh, like
yeah, you don't want to be like.
I know you're going to talk about this, so let's just talk about it together.
Did he go up on stage after? He should have just said it like in his speech, being like, hey, by the way, that
When he
performance.
he won for best album.
I think I would have had to say it. I would have been
no.
like, guys, please don't think I'm an awful
all I've been
performer.
thinking about.
I've been performing nonstop. I'm telling you, I'm good.
Yeah. And we all, like, I give them credit because we all knew something was wrong, but we couldn't exactly pinpoint what it was, which shows that they still kind of saved it. Like, we were all like, could he not hear? Was it the mix? Like, we couldn't, it wasn't immediately obvious that was the problem. But then when those dancers were like, the fucking turntable moved the wrong way. Now when you watch it back, it's like, oh yeah, like that clearly makes sense on what happened. So, it sucks for Harry because on an otherwise like perfect evening for him, right? And I'm sure like he'll get over it, but it's winning those awards and having that moment, and then it's also like, God, couldn't the turntable gone the wrong way? I just won
gone-
album of the year, and my performance like got fucked up.
I was gonna make a pun. I was gonna say didn't go as it was earlier in the day.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Last up,
Silence.
Well, when you say things like I was gonna make the
No, I
pun,
know,
but
I
then
know.
you just made it, so you
Yeah.
don't need to say that. Just make the pun.
I know.
last up, Alex Cooper released a promo for Call Her Daddy in which, you know, she said she was a big Maroon 5 fan. Can you address the infidelity in your marriage? How many times did you cheat with women on Instagram? And She Will Be Love played. Everyone was like, holy fuck.
She has Adam Levine.
She got Adam Levine. Bahati herself commented, LOL. And I think that's when eyebrows were raised. Everyone was like, thought they were good. Why is she commenting LOL? Is she commenting because it's dramatic? Is she there?
People
Who
thought
really
maybe
is
it was actually her.
People thought it was her. Then everyone was like, well, you know, Adam Levine wasn't actually in the promo. Why wouldn't Alex put up a video of him in the promo?
Yeah.
It was Adam Devine, the actor. Lame. Not him, just the move in general.
Yeah.
Lame.
You know what? And I do give the internet credit because they caught on to that. Like, I did see in the comments, people were like, I really think it's actually Adam Devine and it's like a joke, which good on those people for thinking that, because that is certainly not where my mind went first.
And I love Adam Devine. I think he's very funny.
No, in my mind, I was like, so do I. I love him. I love him and his wife. I love Righteous Gemstones. And
Workaholics.
what?
Workaholics.
Yeah, I mean, so many good stuff. But in that mind, I was like, does this kind of suck for him? Because I'd imagine you see people think it's Adam Levine. You're like, oh my God, this is going to be so juicy. And then it's like Adam Devine. He's like, it's me, Adam Devine. And people are going to be like, oh, don't care.
Like, like I literally just screamed lame, but not to him, just to the whole thing.
You just didn't like that.
I didn't
promo.
like that. I didn't like that whole.
You didn't like the
tricky,
bait. You didn't like the bait and switch.
No, I didn't, because let me tell you, I think people are dying to fucking hear Adam Levine said. I was so excited. I was like, this is appointment television.
Yeah.
And then boom, we get Adam Devine, which is what you're saying. Like, Adam Devine is still great, but everyone was like, oh my God, we're gonna get Adam Levine.
I know. And he's a great guest, and I think he's actually going to be really funny. Like, I'm excited to listen to the two of them together, but it's like, yeah,
It was
it's a bait and switch.
It was
for sure.
mean.
Got our hopes up. We really thought we were going to hear from Adam Levine.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, Jane Fonda and Adam Levine.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Wow.
By the way, that Jane Fonda interview was really good. Like, I listened to it, and Jane Fonda is just so, she's just so cool and has lived like such a life and had such great wisdom for all young people. I think it was a very good interview. But yeah, no, like you said, just jumping was like, oh, we're getting a serious. We should have known when she didn't show his face. Like, we should have known better.
And it
like,
was
if you have
tell,
if you have Adam Levine, you're showing his face.
But also, there's like the cadence of her voice. You could tell that's not how you would like introduce someone. I feel like.
Noah was on it from the beginning.
And
Noah
that's
was
not
like,
usually how she talks to her guests.
I thought
like
she
that.
filmed a separate intro for some reason, like without him, to make it more dramatic for a promo.
Yeah, I was, you know, it was just like, wow, holy fuck, we're going to be listening to this Adam Levine interview.
Imagine after you have a baby, you go on Call Her Daddy and get introduced as that.
That was true. Another thing was like, people were like, they just had their baby. Like,
who did?
Bahati and Adam.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, let me go on Call Her Daddy and address all my cheating rumors.
No, totally. Yeah, that's, yeah. I mean, look, we got. We could have.
We did got.
We could have had some just deductive reasoning there on
blew up.
why it
like,
obviously wouldn't be Adam Levine.
But the promo was good. I mean, clearly it worked.
I mean,
Look, then it
had
was
like
didn't.
500,000 likes.
It did exactly what she wanted it to do.
Yes.
But then people are they're going to lose trust. Next time she does a tease,
yeah.
am I going to believe that they're
maybe.
actually there?
I do like the speculation factor, what she does, and like who the next guest is. I think that's a lot of fun. And clearly we're talking about it. So
Exactly. You like to guess.
Yep. And that's really it. So you can get right into the Ashton Kutcher interview.
Or listen to Cutting Stems first if you care about this season of The Bachelor, which feels like it's moving downhill.
Yep. When you're planning a wedding, you want to get every detail right. The flowers, your dress, the bridesmaids' dresses, every single detail. And with everything going on, brides usually forget about the groomsmen because they got to deal with their own stuff and they think the groom should be dealing with the groomsmen, but a lot of times they're not. But nothing will mess up your pictures like the one friend who shows up in a royal blue tux when you told everyone you needed a black tux. With black tux, you can select styles that are bride approved and invite the wedding party to rent rent or buy your assigned suit or tux. They'll get an email from Black Tux, and all they need to do is put in their measurements, take the fit survey, and order the suit themselves. You can track their progress along the way and send reminders through Black Tuck. So if someone didn't order their tux, you can send them a nudge. And if you reserve 6 or more looks for your wedding party, the groom rents for free. You can even choose to pay for the tux for any or all of the wedding party. Rent or buy, the Black Tux is the best place to go to for a tuxedo for a wedding or special night. Right now, when you go to the blacktux.com/chicks and use code chicks, you'll save 10%. That's THEBLACKTUX.com/chicks, code chicks to save 10% off. Blacktux.com/chicks, use code chicks.
All right, ladies, it's ladies' night. Rhea, Kelly, no Trent this evening. Yeah, he's got more important things to do, I guess, in Arizona.
Yeah, whatever. I heard Arizona sucks right now. Everybody keeps telling me shit, being like, it's not even that warm, and like, everything's so expensive right now. That's what I keep hearing. So hope you're having a great time, Trent.
Yeah, and not watching The Bachelor. I think this is going to be a fairly quick cutting stems, ladies and non-gentlemen. Zach he's a good bachelor. Like, the guy wants to find love. He's going on nice dates. He's having real conversations. He's sending home women that are dramatic. There's no really big stories here. We could go through all the dates, but Zach is just going through this textbook bachelor behavior. He had a great one-on-one date with Katie. Katie got a rose. They had a sleepover. I thought the sleepover was going to create some drama. Nope. She just walked back into the house in her pajamas, and the girls all said, "Oh, welcome back, Katie."
This is amazing. I thought
they're
for sure
friends.
They would be curious. Yeah, they're all best friends.
They're all best friends,
which is, don't get me started on that. But I thought that first date, that one-on-one date, was really cute. The beginning of it was like, all right, it's a cute date, fun, like kitschy thing, museum. I personally love a museum date, so I was like feeling a little personally touched. And then I loved the like sleepover idea. Like, bro, we're not even, it's not the same bed. It's like we're just gonna be up all night chatting like we're at a sleepover, whatever. When the girls looked anxious in the morning, I like would have been feeling the same way. But I think on like date one, especially with Katie, who already seemed like such a sweetheart anyway, I don't really know, like, their worries are not like, oh no, they had sex and now that's it. Their worries are like, they're up all night talking and they're in love now. So forget it. Like, they're not threatened by her in like a sexual way. They're like, oh fuck, like he loves her now. Which I think he loves her.
Talking is almost worse than them having sex.
Yes, it's so much more intimate. And I love it. And I love that they gave them the opportunity. Like, they never, I feel like, especially for dates like this, and especially in the beginning, they never give the kind of opportunity to like have a little date like this. I don't know. I loved it. I thought it was so cute. The matching PJs. What a touch. What a cute touch.
It was adorable. Like, it was absolutely adorable date. One of the better dates, but you would think like this early on, a sleepover would really cause the house to burn down, and it just didn't. I think
if it were somebody else, like if Christina Mandrell went on like the overnight date, I think they would have lost their fucking minds. I think that they weirdly didn't lose their minds over the fact that
Katie was so nice about it.
Yeah, and like so sweet, and just came over and was like clearly in her pajamas, like her makeup wasn't even out of place. You know what I mean? Like we believe that she's not doing anything. So I don't know. It's just how I feel.
Did anybody pay any attention during the group date football? Because that has lost me. Every season we make these girls play football, flag football, tackle football, whatever the hell it is, they got to play football.
One. Bachelor Bowl 5.
I've officially zoned it out completely. It's the same date every time. The winning team gets more time with Zach. It's the same exact thing.
I was making tortellini when that happened, and all of a sudden I heard someone go, like, I'm hurt. And then I glanced over, and then I went back to making tortellini. Yeah. I was like,
which I didn't even realize happened until the rose ceremony, and I saw the girl.
And then she was wearing a sling.
A sling.
Which was, no, so like she was
dramatic.
fine.
I don't think she needed to be wearing a sling.
No, like they took her off the field and she was fine. She was like, actually, I'm cool.
Sympathy
Like, what do you
fumble.
mean, right? Or was there a
Well, there's
separate
different
injury
people.
that I'm
Okay,
forgetting?
well, we could be missing something here. Maybe Sarah was watching closer than us. Anastasia fell,
Oh,
but Genevieve was the one wearing the sling. So maybe there was separate incidents.
so maybe there
And
was
we
another
really-
injury.
And we
Okay,
really
'cause I
weren't
only
paying
saw when she
attention.
fell. I only saw one injury. And then I
Yeah.
saw the ambulance in the commercial, but I never actually saw the ambulance. And I had been looking out because I thought people were saying it looked like Trent. And I was like, tell me this motherfucker got on the show again. I didn't tell us. But it wasn't. And I also, actually, I don't know. I didn't see it. It never showed up. So clearly I missed it.
Yeah. If
And
only
along with
Trent
the
was
second injury that
driving,
required a sling.
driving the ambulance. Bailey sent herself home during this whole date situation. Clearly, Zach is making his feelings known to these ladies, and like the ones that are picking up on that they don't have a vibe, it's like they can tell right away. So Bailey sent herself home. Zach, once again, extremely direct, was like, yeah, you know, I agree with you. I don't see it either. So
like, okay.
so, yeah,
Sounds
so
good,
she's-
girl. Saves me some trouble.
Right, exactly. Sent herself home.
Yeah.
Charity got the group date rose, where like some of this drama stemmed from where she got the group date rose. Everybody was so happy for her. And Christina was like, I'm confused. Like she thought she deserved the rose. And the commentary was so funny. Like it's nice that these girls are all friends, but for Christina to say like, oh, I thought I was going to get the rose is not a crazy thing to say. And they acted like that's one of our best friends that you just took away her moments. It was very weird.
They literally said that. They said those exact words. She was like, she wasn't being sympathetic enough to the fact that this girl was just like voted off. And so she's running around being like, oh, I really just thought it was me. And she's like, no, we just lost one of our best friends. Okay. That's literally how she said it. And I thought for a second she was gonna like crack and laugh, because how can you say that with a straight face? It's been 5 minutes, literally 5 minutes.
You know, we live in apartments. We have to have furniture that really is efficient and fits in our space. And sometimes when you buy things and they arrive, you think, oh my God, how am I going to put this furniture together? But Thuma has an amazing bed. It's The Bed by Thuma. It's handcrafted from eco-friendly, high-quality upcycled wood. The bed has a modern, minimalist design that helps elevate any space. It's put together using the timeless technique of Japanese joinery. Each piece locks into place, meaning no tools or excess hardware are required for assembly. It only takes about 5 minutes to assemble. With clean lines, subtle curves, and lifestyle-enhancing details, the bed is simple sophistication for the bedroom. The perfect platform bed frame just got better. You can now customize the bed by choosing between the original pillow board or the new solid wood headboard. The fabric pillow board adds softness and color to any space, while the headboard offers solid, sleek support. The headboard attaches directly to the bed with no tools required. Buy it with the bed or on its own as an upgrade. Like I said, great for apartment living if you want a super easy way to assemble. So create that feeling of checking into your favorite boutique hotel suite, but at home with The Bed by Thuma. And now go to thuma.co/chicks to receive a $25 credit towards your purchase of the bed plus free shipping in the continental US. Go to thuma.co/chicks. That's thuma.co/chicks for a $25 credit.
That's the worst part. Well, not the worst part about this show, but one of the worst parts is that they all act like they're best friends after the first week of meeting them. And it's like, you can like the people there and of course be nice to them. You don't want to be mean to them, but they're not your best friends after the first week. You know nothing about them. They could turn around and stab you in the back. Number two, do you guys feel like if your name is Charity or if someone's name is Charity, you're automatically going to be slutty? Like, I feel like anytime I hear of a Charity or a Chastity, like, I just think
it's that same, slutty. It's that like stripper name vibe. Like the same goes for like Crystal.
I'm not saying this
like
Charity is slutty. I'm just saying in general.
No, those are just like, they're like
Yeah.
textbook.
Because it's so like nice and good that it's like,
Yeah. There's
Yes.
gotta
Yeah.
be something on the other side. So that's just like caused some drama. Allie had a lot of just like Bachelor checks, which Devin had tweeted on the Twitter, like it was just we're going through the stereotype, the Bachelor blueprint. We're just checking things off here. Group date, football group date, and then the other one-on-one date was with Allie, and not only did she show up in a wedding outfit, but they went skydiving, and they had the whole like, we're so scared and getting
Very
through
full
it.
house to go skydiving in your wedding outfits.
Yes, extremely,
Yeah.
extremely good comparison.
Sure
And
is.
but then they also had another like very mature and honest conversation at dinner. She got a rose. Like it's just nice dates. And
The fact she
Yes.
had to jump out of a plane on her first date
yeah.
is insane. They were like, okay, not only do you have to wear a wedding dress, but you got to jump out of a plane.
Would you guys do this?
I was thinking
Yeah.
about it while it was on, and I would love to
The
jump out of
pressure
a
would get to
plane.
me.
However, same, but I also worry that I would like pass out with anxiety in the air. Like I feel like I would love to. I love that feeling of falling, but I think that I would be so hype and like we're on TV. I think I'd faint probably. I'd have a rough landing, like Rachel. Shout out Rachel Kirkconnell. People forget about her
Yeah.
getting slammed into the fucking ground.
Right.
Yep.
It was
I
crazy.
think that I
When I saw
feel-
them landing, like I thought about that again. I was like, I hope that they took like a crash course on how to land since then, because that was insane.
I agree.
Yeah, I think I would feel so much pressure that like, okay, we're obviously on TV, and now if I want to back out of this date, like, is my screen time going to go down? So I'm going to jump.
Yeah, true.
You know,
Well, you'd be there for the wrong reasons, Maria. You're there for the
I'm
wrong
kidding.
reasons. Clearly.
It's a good point.
You're not there for love. You're not.
Valid
You're not
point.
there for Zach.
Well,
Mhm.
Allie got a rose. They had a pool party instead of a cocktail party where everyone got to spend more time with Zach. They were taking shots. Everyone's having a good time. Brianna sends herself home. And it really, really just seems like America's Rose did get to her as she sent herself home. But she went out tattling on Christina, still in a way that, I mean, look, maybe we're seeing something, or maybe we're not seeing, is really what maybe we're not seeing. Maybe we're missing something here. But Brianna starts crying. She's being made to feel so insecure. Like, where are we missing those conversations? Like, are we still talking about the one time that she made a joke and said, haha, I hate you, because she because she already had a rose? Or is there, and I get she's being annoying. She keeps talking about herself. She keeps bringing up her own date, but it doesn't seem like she's attacking the other women or like being malicious. She just clearly is self-absorbed.
Yes, and I think that is everyone's disconnect. I think people can't understand that she's so brazen, and they ask her to like stop bragging about your relationship with Zach, and she just like refuses. She's like, no, I'm not going to stop. Like I met his parents. I'm going to tell you about it 1,000 times. I'm going to get in all of your heads. Like that's what she's trying to do. And I think that some of these girls are just like not fucking with that, which I understand it's annoying, but just yell at her. Like, I don't know, maybe they just don't want to they don't want to like have someone get a rise out of them. But I'm surprised that there wasn't like one other girl that really stood up to her and was like, hey, look, you're acting like an asshole. We're all annoyed by you. And that's the issue here. Like, you're so clueless. Like, what's your problem?
I also think a lot of times these girls are intimidated by like a big personality, and she seems to just have a big personality where she's the center of attention, and they can't really handle that. And maybe she is being annoying, but maybe it's just her personality and they're getting very annoyed by it. But I also think it's one of those things that like sometimes you got to do better at just like ignoring it, right? It's like, do you really need to go tattletale to Zach that Christina's being annoying? Because what is that doing for your relationship? Now, Brianna sent herself home, so granted, she didn't really care what it was doing for her relationship. She was more like talking about the other girls. But like just because she's annoying and has a big personality to you guys, like that doesn't mean she's not good with Zach. Does that make sense? Like if she was a mean, bad person, that's something different where it's like, this person is a bad person and you should know that you shouldn't be with a bad person. But if somebody just has a big personality, like, does that mean Zach can't get along? I don't know. I think
I'm with
Zach
you.
sent her home.
They just don't like her. They just
don't
don't
like
like
her.
Christina.
And look,
Yeah,
she
again,
comes across
I don't like
annoying
her.
and dramatic, like for
Yeah.
sure. There's plenty
Like
of times between the begging, between like the emotions and the dramatics on the staircase. It was just like it was all a little bit.
She was drunk,
a little bit
right?
too
She
much.
was drunk. She had to
I
have been
hope.
drunk when she was like the
She was either
please
drunk
leave.
or
that
the
whole-
producers put her on the stairs.
ridiculous. Like,
that was
absolutely
very
ridiculous.
dramatic the way she took the information as well. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody wants to hear people are talking bad about you, people don't like you, but like the way she handled that was
Come on.
very dramatic. Like I
I
don't
think if
you
she
need to throw yourself
calmly,
on the staircase.
yeah, I think if she like calmly tried to deny that or actually speak through it with Zach, he would have listened to her more. But I think because she immediately like kind of lost it, Zach was like, all right, well, I'm not dealing with this now. And that's kind of exactly what happened. It got down to the last rose and he sent her home. Whether she was a little tipsy or whatnot, she was making a lot of faces. She said her farewells. I'm sure the girls are very happy that she's gone.
I think that he sent her home because he was like, perfect. Now I don't have to use the excuse that I'm not ready to be the father of her child.
Yes.
Like,
Honestly,
now
yes.
he's-
Like he's looking for
guy-
something wrong.
Yeah.
Like it was
Where he
already
could've
going to
looked-
be a hurdle.
He could have looked like the bad guy if he sent her home because he was like, I'm not ready. Not that that would be a bad guy move
Yeah, yeah.
because of course it would make sense. But now he's like, oh, perfect.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
Exactly.
Everybody's getting sick these days. We just talked about it. We've been sick for like a week. You don't want to go to the doctor. You're like, oh, do I go to the doctor? Or do I just, push through and hope for the best here? And then it lingers. And then you're like, I should have went to the doctor. But you don't even know where to find a doctor because maybe you haven't gone in a couple years. That's where ZocDoc comes into play. There are better answers out there for what you want, and you deserve to know from trusted professionals and not just random people on the internet. ZocDoc helps you find expert doctors and medical professionals that specialize in the care you need and deliver the type of experience you want. ZocDoc is the only free app that lets you find and book doctors who are patient reviewed, take your insurance, are available when you need them, and treat almost every condition under the sun. There's no more doctor roulette or scouring the internet for questionable reviews. ZocDoc, you have a trusted guide to connect you to your favorite doctor that you haven't even met yet. Millions of people use ZocDoc every day and use their free app to find and book a doctor in their neighborhood who is patient reviewed and, the schedule meets your schedule and you can get one right away. Go to ZocDoc.com/office and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. Many are even available within 24 hours. That's ZocDoc.com/office, ZocDoc.com/office.
I wanted to ask you guys something completely separate, kind of going back to the football date and all of that drama. I noticed at the beginning of it, Zach was like, yeah, play football, like whatever, blah, 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 did the whole thing. When is the last time we've had a Bachelor that didn't play football and was like kind of a nerdy loser? Like we need one. I'm confident enough to say that I am, after this episode, really liking Zach. I'm not going to say I love him, but I like him. I think he's a good guy. I love his voice. I don't know if I was asleep listening to him before, but I'm very entranced by his voice. I think he's there for the right reasons. He's putting on a good show so far. Loving it. However, he's cookie cutter, whatever. But the football thing really got me thinking. Like, when's the last time we had some just like scrawny guy coming through like with tattoos? Like,
I mean, I feel like it goes back to
know?
Ben Flajnik. I can't.
Right. It goes so far back. Like,
Yeah.
would Nick Viall wouldn't be considered that before he got all tatted up, right? Like when he was on, was he kind of like a
I
weird
guess
loser? He was athletic.
Nick's on the boundary there.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
this
just
era of Nick that he's in right now is different from what he was like on the show.
Complete. Oh no, he's a different person entirely. He's a completely different person. But I wasn't sure if he was like quite that all American. And I wonder if
we've gotten a lot of all American.
Yeah.
Should we take some Bachelor Nation questions?
Yes.
Because I think that's basically the whole episode. I mean, yes, we have some gimmicky stuff that happened. Jesse Palmer's nephew sang, not nephew, cousin, I think. Cousin.
Who cares?
Sean
nice.
Lowe.
Okay.
Sean Lowe's on speed dial this season.
I have a question. Well, not
Okay.
for me. Do we think they really spent the night in the museum?
I think so.
I think so, yeah. Those little beds were cute, and yeah, it was probably weird. I'm sure they were up filming until like 4 a.m. They probably only spent like 3 or 4 hours together, like alone.
Did you guys do those? Did you guys do those Girl Scout trips where you would like sleep in the like museum?
No.
We would do ones where we would like have a sleepover. We'd have a sleepover in like the fellowship hall or some shit. Like not as fun as the museum.
I feel like I don't know. I felt like that was genuine. I feel like that really happened.
Who would you guys want to see more in Paradise, Bailey or Christina?
Christina would be better in Paradise.
Yeah, I agree. Completely.
I feel like
personality wise.
I agree, but I feel like we would see Bailey's personality come out more in Paradise. She might end up finding a real relationship on there.
Yeah, I could also see them. I could see them calling up Brianna for Paradise too, for sure.
I don't think Brianna should be allowed on Paradise.
Really?
I don't know if Brianna likes. I don't know if she likes this whole thing. I think that she's. If she can't take a compliment, she started the show with a leg up and a compliment from America, and she does. That got in her head. I don't know.
Good point.
So what I took from her going home was not only did she not like Zach, but I don't think she liked the whole process in general, which is fine.
Yeah, that's fair.
Who do we think is the clout chaser social media person that they're talking about next week now that Christina's gone?
Oh, it looked like Kylie.
Oh, interesting. I feel like I didn't pay attention to her.
I don't know.
Well
They kept showing Kylie, they were showing Charity, they were showing Gabby, but it seemed like when Zach said or asked the question, like, are you really here for me or something, he was with Kylie, but I'm not positive. That's just what it seemed like from the preview. And anything else, or should we move on to cutting some stems?
One last question. Quick.
Great.
Do we think Zach will spend the night with more girls throughout the season?
If the group reacts the same way, he should stay overnight with all of them.
I know. I think it's like I think it's kind of like cool and modern. Like, I think that's a good idea. Like, especially from the home perspective, those girls being up all night wondering like, where is she? That was good drama too. Like, that sucked.
Definitely. And for sure though, I think it really has to be very limited. I think because like we were just saying with, staying up all night talking, it's such an extra layer to a date. Like Katie now, I think has such a leg up because it's just so much extra time. Like those little pillow talk whispers are so much more intimate than when you're getting on any one-on-one date. So if you get that opportunity, I think you're way ahead of the game.
Agreed.
Hell yeah.
All right, let's cut some stems and give out some roses. Who would like to go first? Quick, raise your hands. Who's faster? Bria, go ahead.
Oh shit.
She was fast. She was faster.
No, I know. I saw her be faster than me. I was like, fuck.
I will give my rose to the dinosaur ensemble, the Bones.
The Bones.
Oh, the Bones. Okay.
The Bones.
Specifically the Bones.
Just specifically the bones of the dinosaur. And you got to take a trip to the Natural History Museum.
You got to come. I go all the time. Not a joke. I go.
Want to go?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll work that into our dinner plan. Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's do that. Okay, and then I am going to cut both together, Brianna and Christina.
Mm.
A joint stem cut. Am I allowed? You guys gonna sue me for that?
I'll allow it.
Because
Yeah.
I think Brianna is lame for tattletaling. I don't care that she went home. I think that's fine. She didn't want to be there. She didn't like Zach. I actually respect that. She's like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend. Lame for tattletaling on her way out. Like, Christina, lame for throwing herself on the staircase and crying. So they get cut for being lame.
Big ol' lame asses. All right,
I think
Kelly,
that's
go,
great.
Lamos.
go ahead.
I think that's great cuts. That's great shit. All right. I'm giving my rose to the pajamas on the museum date. I think that was just like the cutest thing. And they were really cute pajamas. And it like made it just fun and silly. I loved it. My stem cut goes to Christina's extensions at the pool party were just so bad. And I can't handle, if you are going to get
Kelly,
extensions.
they were
you
bad
gotta
when we
keep
were
up with it.
leaving. They
When
were bad
will
when she
people
was leaving.
realize? When
You
will
could see the
people
back of her
realize
head.
When will they realize?
extensions honestly look good for maybe a couple days, maybe a week,
Barely.
and then they
Barely.
look bad. Like your natural
time.
hair, I promise you, even if it's up to here, looks better.
It looks better.
Like if you get them professionally done every day, then yes, they're gonna look great. But extensions are so hard and hard to keep up. You can't go on The Bachelor with extensions. You can't even get your fucking nails done. How are you going to keep up with your extensions? I'm sorry. I totally agree with you on these.
No,
I think people are doing themselves a disservice when they get extensions. And on top of regular extensions, eyelash extensions. Your natural lashes look better.
Too much.
Those caterpillars on your fucking eyes look stupid. They look like they're going to crawl out of the room.
They're fucking crazy.
You told my mom that.
They're
and she
fucking
stopped.
crazy.
We said your eyelashes look fucking ridiculous. Stop getting them. You're beautiful. Enough of these fucking caterpillars on your eyes. They look bad.
It's too much. It's too
like
fucking
people,
much.
Like are
Those
so
thick,
beautiful.
The thick ass lashes.
Them.
I don't have them on. I don't have lash extensions on right now, but I get them sometimes. And even when they're very light, but even when I have them, I feel like I have caterpillars on my face. That's number one. Number two,
I like
the
false lashes if you're going out, whatever. But
false lashes are fine for a fun night out, for sure.
The fluffy
the hair extension thing,
extensions?
Specifically this situation, like
no,
like
it's well when you can see the top. You can see the top of them. Yeah.
But the problem is yes, you can see them. That's annoying. But even that is like, whatever, that just looks like trash. Okay. But like, whatever. The problem that I have with it is that you are in more casual situations than you are fancy situations where you need to have like full glam and your hair done and whatever. This girl she had a pool party sprung on her and she has like curly, wavy, natural hair and her extensions are not the same. So like her hair is kind of whatever. And her extensions are stick straight.
Yes.
She looks fucking crazy. This happens to everyone. But everybody is like, I don't care. It's fine for the 3 times a month I do my hair. No, take them out.
I so
It's
agree with
terrible.
you.
Wear a wig. I'd rather you wear a wig.
My thing is that I don't want people to think we're shitting on looks because they are beautiful without these things, and I wish that they could see that.
Shitting
like
on
you
cheap
don't like
extensions.
these things.
Just don't do it.
Look bad when you can
Always.
look good.
There's a reason they went out of style in the first place. Like they're back in style, but they had a time where they went out of style because they were fucking idiots or whatever. I could go for hours. That's my stem cut. Those fucking extensions.
All right, I'm gonna give my rose to Zach because I think he is navigating this ship. He's steering the ship in a good. He's doing a good job. Like he's somehow being very respectful, but then also being like kind of horny at the same time. Like it's like, he's having mature conversations, but he's kissing everybody. Oh, he's really his emotional intelligence. Like he's opening up, but he's turning the cocktail party into a pool party because he's taking a good look.
He is.
So like there's a lot of things that he's somehow making it work for him. Yeah, I noticed. And then I'm gonna, I'm sorry to Jesse Palmer's cousin, but we're just gonna have to stem cut Nepo babies in the Bachelor universe. What are we doing here? There's so many struggling country artists out there that would love to make an appearance on The Bachelor, and we get Jesse Palmer's cousin, Garrett. Good for him.
Let's be honest.
I'm sure he was thrilled. But it's just kind of hilarious that he called up cousin Jesse to get him a gig on The Bachelor.
Yeah. It seems nuts. Song was all right. I was like, all right, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I think I've like, I don't
Sounded
know what
like all the rest
right
of them.
now. Right. I'm not into country music right now. I used to be in it big time, and now I'm just not into it right now. Every single country song I hear these days sounds the same. I don't know who anybody is. That could have been Luke Combs. I would have been like, oh, cool. And I only know that because I watched him on the Grammys last night. So like, that's it.
That's fair. Luke Combs is
Jesse
great.
Palmer's cousin. I'm out.
Kelly, you would like Zach Bryan. You should give him a listen.
Zach Bryan like tweeted at me or responded to something with Ticketmaster. So I checked him out.
Yeah.
Because I guess his fans.
He
something
put out
like
a
that,
live.
and I do like him.
He put out a live album. It's called "All My Homies Hate Ticketmaster."
Yeah. So I listened.
But
to
he's
him.
good. He has just had a song come out with Maggie Rogers. Great song. You'd like it.
Love
Okay,
that.
I feel like that wraps it up. Yes, I feel like that wraps it up for this week's episode. Zach is just cruising along here. We're waiting for some drama. Anytime there's drama, he squashes it immediately. So we'll see if next week, with whoever is here for the wrong reasons, is sent home immediately. Thank you, ladies. Everyone have a lovely evening, and we'll be back next week. Okay, guys, if you are looking for a special offer for the big game coming up, Game Time has cracked the code on how to score deals on last-minute tickets. Right now, Game Time has a special offer for the big game. All users, not just first-time users, can get $100 off their big game ticket purchase with code Barstool100. We all know what game I'm talking about, guys. And $100 goes a long way, especially when you're going to those games, whether it's merch or concessions. Like that $100 you can really save to use on other areas. And it's also awesome. It's not just first-time users. It's all users. So if you're looking to head to the big game, make sure you have downloaded the Game Time app or go to the website, enter your email, and redeem code CHICKS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. And like I said, if you're going to the big game, get $100 off your purchase with code Barstool100, even if you've bought tickets with Game Time before.
All right, everyone, we are here with a very special guest. We are joined by the lovely Ashton Kutcher. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having me. How do you know I'm lovely?
She's taking a guess.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
We'll see by the end of this
We'll find
interview.
out.
Then we'll rate you.
Okay,
from
so we're coming full circle at the end, and then we're gonna pop quiz
Yeah.
it at the end and see if you still think I'm lovely.
1 to 10 loveliness.
Okay, all right.
Everyone has to go around,
Yeah.
and you also have to rate yourself at the end as well.
Okay,
How
great.
you think you did in this interview.
3.
No pressure.
You already did that better than
Josh Duhamel.
Yeah.
Yes.
She called him a special guest.
Yes.
She said
We're
very special.
here with a special
Very
guest.
special guest.
I was already thinking about pronouncing his last name wrong because it's spelled funky.
Yeah.
But I know how to say it, but I was already thinking like 5 steps ahead, and then
You were like, don't say dummel. Don't say dummel. Don't say
and
dummel.
then all of a sudden I said Skeshel, and of course that was the clip that went out
That was
everywhere. But we did ask him about you,
Yeah.
and he seemed to hold back a little bit.
Okay. Well, what did he say?
Well, we brought up the modeling competition,
Okay.
and you were runner-up.
Now he won.
No, you were runner-up though.
I was the
He
runner-up.
won up. He won.
Yeah, he
You
won
were
the whole
runner-up.
thing. Yeah.
But he said you really did better than him in life
Really?
afterwards.
Why? He's doing great in life.
Yeah,
he's a happy
it was more
guy.
like he went right into the Calvin Klein ads.
He crushed it.
I had to wait some time.
Oh, come on. Dumel's doing fine. I just remember it was so weird. So I'm from Iowa, okay? And the notion of even ever being a model, like that guys did that, was like a weird thing for me. Like so I was going to college and studying, I wanted to be a geneticist, and I was at a bar and I was like 19 years old, and this lady comes up to me and she's like, "How old are you?" And I was like, "Hold on 1 second, let me order this drink." Order the drink. I'm like, "I'm 19. And she's like, "Have you ever thought about being a model?" And I was like, I just laughed, like because I thought Fabio was like the only, like that's what I knew a male model to be, was Fabio. And I was like, I think you got the wrong guy. Like I don't know what you're talking. And I was like, I've thought about being an actor. she's like, well, modeling's a great way to get into acting. I was like, okay. And so I tell my fraternity brothers, this lady came and they're like, well, you got to do that. You got to do it. And I was like, well, what do I? And so I go to a shopping mall and I walked. She's like, all you have to do is walk from here to there and you can win a trip to New York and then I can help you get into all these things. I was like, okay. So I walked from here to there at the shopping mall and I win a trip to New York. And so I came to New York for this IMTA modeling competition. I don't know what's going on. Like, I do not know what's happening. I'm just like, they're like, wear this, do that, comb your hair like this, do this thing and walk like that. I was like, okay. And so I do it. And these guys were like, Dumel was like a part of this one, I don't know where, I think they were out of California. I'm not even sure. But they had like these, they were taking it very seriously. Like these guys were like professionally trained model men and men, right? Like I was like a boy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I get here and I had like my Boy Scout duffel bag and like my backpack and my sleeping bag and like a pocket knife and $100. Like that's what I came to New York with. And I was like, these guys are crushing me. But like it's like a competition and they're like, just keep doing it. And I get runner up and I'm like, man, these guys they're gonna have these big careers. And then I think the difference was I called home and I was like, I'm not coming home because New York was so crazy to me. I was like, this is insane, and I just want to stay here. And I called and I was like, I'm not coming home. My dad was like, no, get your ass back here, because I had a job at General Mills sweeping Cheerio dust. Like I was like doing janitorial. He's like, you need to come back. I got you this job. You need to get the job. You're going back to school. I was like, nah, Dad, I'm staying. And I think they all flew home. I think that was the difference. And I was like, nah, I'm staying. And so then I got an agent and started working. And then Josh and I did a movie together. We did, I think, a New Year's Eve.
Oh, yes.
Because I done Valentine's Day with Gary Marshall, who is this like amazing sort of like old iconic, like he did like these just unbelievable romantic comedies. And then I did Valentine's Day and he asked me to play the lead role in New Year's Eve. And then I was like, I had something else I was working on, and then Josh ended up doing it. So we did a movie together. I don't think we're in any scenes together.
A little give and take from you and Josh. He won the modeling,
man,
then you gave him the lead role.
Josh is out here crushing it. He's working hard out in these streets.
Yeah. So are you. I mean, you've been doing a ton of press the last 2 weeks. We've seen every story, every headline. Is there something you're sick of talking about? Is there something you love talking about? I want to hear both ends.
I'm sick of talking about me. And I would really, no, I don't, you know, it's actually, I don't know, it's all fun. Like the fact that I get to do this and this is my job and I get to just have conversations and people even care to listen is shocking to me. So I'm still blown away by it. So let's talk about it. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah. Hey, we got plenty to talk about. You have been in so many things that we love. We're such big fans of you, and now you're doing this movie with Reese Witherspoon, and it's back in that romantic comedy genre, which you have not gone near in a while.
It's been like a decade. Yeah.
Was it Reese Witherspoon that got you to go back into it?
Yep.
Yeah. When Reese calls, you answer?
Well, here's the thing. She's such a bad ass. Like, she's such a badass. And she's like, I remember seeing her in Election when I moved to LA and I was like doing that 70s show and I saw this movie Election. I was like, who is that? Like that, because she has such a presence and she has chops, and then she has so much range. Like she could do drama, she could do comedy, she could do everything. And I was like, she's just like such a movie star, right? And for a bunch of the romantic comedies that I did, I would always say to my agent, like, see if Reese can do that. Like, I want to do this with Reese. And I only knew her socially. Like, I'd run into her at a couple parties or here and there. And she, over the year, in the last like 10 years, we've had a bunch of business conversations, but we didn't really know each other. And Aline Brosh McKenna, who did Devil Wears Prada and 27 Dresses, and like is just such a badass in and of herself. Every time I had a romantic comedy that I was working on, And if there was a scene that didn't work or a part that didn't work, I'd always reach out to Aline and be like, Aline, can you look at this with me and like see if you can dissect what's wrong with it? Because she's such a brilliant writer. And she'd be like, oh, try this and that. And then and of course it would work. And then so I was in Toronto. Amelia was shooting Luckiest Girl Alive. And I'm like hanging out doing dad duty because we don't work at the same time. One of us is always with the kids while the other one's working. And I get this call from my agent. It's like, hey, look, I know you said you didn't want to do anything. I know you said you don't want to work on anything, but you should check this out. Sent me the script. I stopped everything I'm doing and read it because I knew Reese was going to do it. I knew Aline was going to do it. And I read it and I was like, okay, it's about two people that have been friends for 20 years and realize that they're in love. I was like, I kind of know that story. And I've always wanted to do a film with Reese, and I love Aline. And I was like, I'm in. And then we figured out how to shoot it in LA, and then away we went.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are excited about this. It's you, Reese Witherspoon. I think we're seeing a comeback with rom-coms lately. Like, I feel like it like fell off a little bit, but you know, George Clooney, Julia Roberts just did one. Everyone was excited about that.
Yeah.
You know, J.Lo, Josh Duhamel. Now you and Reese Witherspoon. Everyone's very excited.
Yeah, these things go in cycles. You know, I think what happened, during the pandemic, Mila and I would be at home. We're like trying to find something to watch at night, and we like wanted to find like a new great rom-com that we could watch at like the whole pandemic, and they just had stopped making them. Like and I think what happens with these things, they really go in cycles. Like they'll make a bunch of them. Like they'll make one, it'll make money. And then all of a sudden they're like, well, with rom-coms, people want to see rom-coms. We gotta, and then they make so many of them, and then like they're at varying degrees of quality, and then people are like get over it for a while. And so I think we're about to like go into like a surge of like really good rom-coms, because I think it's movies that people want to make and movies that people want to see, and hopefully it happens. I love them.
Yeah,
so do we. Reese talked about how, you know, you guys didn't know each other that well, but the movie was about two people who had known each other for 20 years. And she said that she proposed to you that you guys send videos to each other every day doing things. Is that true? And did you do that?
Yeah, so she claims that she proposed it to me. What I remember was all of a sudden I just got this video one day, and she texted me. And it was like, hey, friend, I'm doing this, and I'm out here, and I'm doing that, and I'm going to be with it. And I was like, oh, we're doing that.
She's sending you vlogs.
And so then I send her one back, and then she sends me one. And the next thing you know, I'm like hanging out with her moms on the porch, like over FaceTime, and we're like talking. And then I'm talking to her kids, and like they're hazing me about the Chicago Bears. And I'm like, oh, come on, man. And which this year they had every right to haze me about the Chicago Bears. And then talking up their teams, and then we're talking about the Vols, and we're talking about the Hawkeyes. We're talking like, and it would just became this like back and forth. So by the time we started shooting the movie, because we're only in 3 scenes together where we're face to face, the whole movie is just over FaceTime. And so by the time we started doing the scenes, it was just natural, and we were just kind of in it, and it was we already had that friendship built.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like that was a great idea.
She's brilliant. Like she's a bad. And there's a reason why she's a bad, because she gets it, and and she was ahead. I was scared. Like I was intimidated by her. I'm scared. I was like, I can't believe Reese Witherspoon sending me video messages. Like I'm still like, I see movie stars and I'm like, oh my God, that's like a movie star. Like, and Reese is a movie star, right? Yeah. So I was like, I wasn't about to like start sending her videos. Like,
she had to make the first move.
She had to make the first move.
Is there any point where Mila goes, why is Reese sending you so many videos?
They're homies, so it was cool. It was like, because they're friends, like, I remember Reese and Aline came to our house, and we were like going through the script, and they came in, and all of a sudden I'm like, where did my wife and Reese go? They're just like, because they're homies and friends, and I was like, God, this is great. It was awesome.
That's awesome.
In the rom-com world, you know, there was a year that you and your wife had done basically the same movie. Yeah. And they're both fantastic movies. Do you guys joke now that you did basically made the same movie in the same year?
Here's the thing. Not only did we do the same movie, we then lived the narrative of the movie in real life. Like, that's what's really messed up about it, right? It's like, first of all, I didn't know about it. Well, I kind of, while we were shooting our movie, I heard about the other movie, and I didn't realize that it was the same movie until I found out it was the same movie, basically. But the crazy thing was, is like, we started hanging out, and we kind of went into almost the exact agreement that is in both of those films. It was like, look, we're gonna hang out, and we'll let each other know if, like, you know, there's
no strings attached.
Yeah, and we're
But
like,
we could be friends with benefits.
we're gonna let each other know if like feelings develop or what. And the whole thing played out like the damn movie. And I'm like, this is great. And then now that's our real life.
Have you guys decided whose movie's better?
I have never seen her movie.
Wow. Has she seen yours?
I don't know. I don't think she's seen mine. I mean, we don't sit at home and watch each other's.
Right.
You know.
And also, it'd be kind of strange to watch that type of movie with your husband or wife.
No, not really.
Not
I mean,
really.
the thing is because we're both in the movie business, we know exactly what that is, and we know exactly like how that stuff goes. So it's never a thing. It's not like, we know it's a performance. We know it's like our job. We know it's, so it doesn't really come up. But I guess we watch each other's stuff now, but we don't watch each other's old stuff. Like, Lucky Scroll Live, I saw it, and it's amazing. She saw this film. Like, so now we see each other's stuff, but our old stuff. I think I've seen
old stuff. Yeah.
I think I've seen, like, I saw Black Swan. And I think I've saw like part of Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and I think I've seen like maybe like one other thing. But like we haven't.
If you were ever gonna revisit any of them, Forgetting Sarah Marshall is
It's a great movie.
That's one of the funniest movies, I think.
Yes.
All right.
Like that's
Definitely.
That's one when it's on TV or it comes across like where you see that it's on.
I mean,
it's like, I gotta sit down.
It's
and
like
watch.
Russell Brand and
Yeah,
Jason
it is
Segel
absolutely
and,
hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great cast.
Yeah.
Very quotable movie.
It is.
Now with that 90s show coming out on Netflix, we're seeing a lot of people rewatching that 70s show. Have you guys ever sat down and watched that 70s show?
I think we were in like a hotel once, and like an episode came on, and we watched like half an episode or something. So no.
And it was like, we have to turn this off.
It's just weird. It's so weird. It's so weird. Like, it's just weird.
Was it not weird revisiting it for, I know you guys did one episode for 90s show.
No, it's just, how many of these things do you go back and listen to?
None. Which we probably should.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, it's weird to like go and like be into your own stuff. You know what I mean? Like, that's it's weird. You lived it. You don't need to do it again. Like, I lived it.
You were there.
I was there. And so, going back, doing the 90s show thing was really funny because when I was shooting a show with Netflix, and the executive from Netflix that was on that show was like, hey, would you ever think about doing that 90s show? Would you and Mila ever want to do? Would you guys ever want? And then Tom Warner, who was from Carsey Warner, one of the original producers, was like, would you ever think about doing? Would you ever want to do? And I was like, I don't. And they're like, you could produce it, you could direct it, you could do what? I was like, I really don't think. And then Bonnie Turner, the original writer, was like, we're doing it. And you guys should come. You guys come. No, and Mila turned to me and was like, hey, look, she's like, we owe our entire careers to the fact that show was successful. We're together, like, or like our lives, like, are a product of that, and like, we're doing it. And I was like, well, let's read the script. She's like, no, we're doing it. And I was like, okay, we're doing it. And so then we read the script, and it was hysterically funny. I hope that those kids on the show like get to have the same ride that we had. Like, it was so cool, and it was really fun, and it was fun to go and like be on the set again and like see everybody and like do an episode. It was really fun.
Yeah.
How do you guys think you would have handled having social media at the time that show was very big?
How would we have handled it? When we were doing this show, like right towards the end of the show, is when like TMZ and that whole thing started to happen. So it was like MySpace was kind of happening towards the end of it, and like the TMZ thing started to happen. And the truth is, I think we would have been fine because everybody was pretty buttoned up and buckled up. I mean, we had fun and went out and were like a little crazy. I think we would have been fine. Although, like, I mean, I feel bad for these kids today. Like, they don't. I mean, we just got to go out. Like, nobody had a camera in the club.
Yeah.
There was nobody outside the door when you left. Like, you could go and just have fun and go. You could really enjoy the spoils of being young and famous and have $1 in your pocket. And, like, and we did it. And nobody did anything stupid, but we, like. It was
Everybody does something stupid.
Yeah.
It was just a different.
Teenagers do stupid stuff sometimes.
It just wasn't on the record,
right?
And like, so maybe we did do stupid stuff, but it just wasn't on the record, so it kind of went. But I don't know. That's the answer. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. No, it definitely makes it a lot harder, and I do think a lot of the stuff that people worked on at that time like wouldn't work now. Like I think about. And Punk'd has come back in different variations, but your version of Punk'd, I feel like really worked because of the time that we were in.
Yeah, it was kind of the time. It was also, MTV was TikTok,
right?
Right. MTV was Instagram. MTV was where you went to like see what people were doing, right? And so. I think it catalyzed it at that time. Like it was kind of like this look into like, well, how are the people when they don't know the cameras are on? And the cool thing, and it was very different because when I did the show, every single person that got punked signed a waiver and said, yes, you can air this. Cause I destroyed tapes on anybody who said you can't. Destroyed it, and I don't talk about it, and that was like a common respect that we had back then that no longer exists, where it's like everybody's got a camera and everybody's trying to film whatever, and then they just post it like as if that person gave them permission to just take their private life and make it public. And so it was very different in so much as it was kind of a glimpse at how people would react to things, and nobody was expecting it. Right, like there was like nobody saw it coming, and now I think everybody's a little bit more on guard because they know there's always a camera rolling, and so I think it's just a very, I think it'd be much harder to do that show today.
Is there anybody who held what you did to them against you?
No,
everyone was cool with it.
Everybody's been cool with it. I mean, there are a couple people for whom I burned the tape that were like, that was dirty. And I was like, yeah, but I burned the tape. So,
fair enough.
Yeah.
But I think everybody had a sense of humor about it. And you know who had the least sense of humor about it was comedians, which is really weird because you think that like comedians would be down, but comedians, they like to be in on the joke.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't like to be the joke.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so it was comedians. And after a while, we just stopped doing comedians because they were like, and you're like, dude, it's funny. Like, come on, man. Like, it was funny.
They want to be the one making fun of you.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, was there ever somebody where it was like, okay, this is going so off the rails from what we planned, but it's going to work?
Yep. They almost all did, right? Like, we spent a lot of time eliminating X factors. So you would try to like get people to have a lockdown space. You would try to make sure that there were no bogeys coming onto the set because you only have one take. So if you didn't get it, you just didn't get it. And some of the productions were like $100,000, $200,000 to shoot the thing. Like if you're going to like wreck a car or flip a car and it, like, that's a real car and you really flip it and it really like it actually really happens. And so if you lost it, it was like you lost like, $250,000 like just trying to pull a prank. And so you had to get it. And so we would try to eliminate anything that could go wrong, any X factor. And then you also have to get a person in the camera to like where you knew there was a hidden camera facing the camera. So we would rehearse it so that when they got there, we were ready for anything that went wrong. And every single time something went wrong and we had to figure it out like on the fly. And there were, it was a lot of coordination of a lot of people, and we had an unbelievable crew and just like insanely good cast members that were able to go with the flow and make it happen. And there were a lot of times where like someone was like, am I being punked right now? And then you'd be like, you'd have to like spin them back around and then get them back in, because otherwise you lose the entire day of production. So
you need to get a full episode.
You got to get an episode. And so you go till you got it.
Yep.
And that is one of the best things too about it, that it became such a common phrase for anytime anybody got into any trouble. You'd be like, okay, where's Ashton?
Right.
Come on, what's happening?
It still happens, like on Twitter. It's like, when's Ashton Kutcher going to pop up? It's like, but it was like, for me, when I was growing up, it was Candid Camera, right? Like, am I on Candid Camera? Like, that was the thing. Like, when's Ed McMahon going to come out, right? And so, now it's...
Is it weird to hear your name still in that way?
Yeah, it is weird. It's weird to hear your name ever.
Mm-hmm. I was actually listening to a Lil Wayne song yesterday, weirdly enough, and your name popped up, and I was like, "That's so weird." We're interviewing him tomorrow.
I got a shout out on DMX's last album. I was like, yes,
like
yes.
Is that one of the coolest things that can happen? I saw Margot Robbie said that recently. Like a rapper saying your name is like.
I mean, it's yeah. Here's the funny thing. So when I was growing up, so my first name's Chris, and when I moved to New York on that. When I first came here, I got a modeling agent, and she was like, we have like 3 Chris K's at the agency. So like, or there was like another Chris K, and there was a couple other Chris's. She's like, what's your middle name? I told her. She's like, that's your name now. And so there's kind of like, for me, there's the before and after. And everybody who knows me before still calls me Chris. Mm-hmm. My family calls me Chris. It's like, and so then when I hear that name, that's like the character that is people think I am.
Did that kind of give you like an identity crisis though? Like I feel like at a certain point you wouldn't know where does Chris start and end, and where does Ashton start and end?
No, because it's just a good delineation of like anybody who knew you before. Like it's just a very good, clear delineation. So when I hear Ashton, it's always the when you hear somebody talking about that, it's I recognize it as somebody talking about the image of who I am and not somebody talking about me. And so then what's great is you don't take it so personally. Can I swear?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I don't.
You've already said bitch. So.
No, I mouthed it.
Yeah. You whispered it.
I mouthed it. And bitch is one of those like sometimes okay for TV
toes the
words.
line.
Oh, yeah.
But so it's the image of who you are and not who you are. And I think it's good to keep that separation, because it's really easy to believe everything that people say that is good about you, and then once you believe that, you also have to believe everything everybody says is bad about you, and then you're at the mercy of the ups and downs of a career, and it's better to just ride the middle.
Yeah. Was there ever a point where you felt like you had to do some fixing for what people thought about you? You know, we've seen your ex-wife, her memoir came out, and then we saw Mila. She said you were an asshole at one point. Did you feel like you had to do?
She told that to me personally.
Yeah, and then we saw the story. Did you feel like you had to do any correcting to the public, or were you like, I know me, my people know me, and that's really all that matters?
I think it was more the latter. I don't ever feel like I've been pretty frank with where I'm at, who I am, what I believe, what I feel, what I think. And so I don't feel like I've ever had to like course correct in any way. I think there are like times when you really want to say something about something, and you kind of go like, you just want to go scream from the mountaintops, like you don't know the whole story, or you don't know everything, or you weren't there, or whatever it is. But then you go, why fight this battle? Like it doesn't really matter. And that's when like having like good friends that you've had for a long time really matters, because they hold you up and they hold you accountable for things, and you go to your friends and you're like, was I a jerk? Or I go to my wife and I'm like, was I an asshole? You were an asshole. Okay, I was an asshole. Like, and you have to trust your friends, that if your friends are going to tell you that that's who and how you were, that they're telling you the truth.
Yeah.
Do you ever get surprised still by what people hold on to? Like, I know the showering and everything, like really like
showering?
blew up.
What are we talking about?
When it was like, oh, I think, was it Mila or was it?
Yeah, Mila posted a video
like-
about bathing your kids.
It was like, oh, we only wash them when they're dirty, like kind of thing. And then that like went crazy viral, and you guys had to
weird.
respond to it.
It's just weird. It's weird. Like it's really weird.
Yeah.
We didn't have to respond. We just thought it was so weird.
It was
Yeah,
a very
funny.
funny video and a great
We
response.
were just like, it's just so funny and weird that like people like care.
Yeah.
Or like even or like that it became where people are asking The Rock whether or not he shower. I'm like, how did that become about like I shower?
Yeah, it became a thing that celebrities don't really shower that often.
It's so weird. It's so weird.
I think it was also
Really
like
glad
the
we have it on record
Yeah.
that you said you shower.
I think it was also like the time, everybody was really hyper focused on what everybody was doing because nobody was really doing anything.
Yeah.
Well,
So
maybe.
yeah, I felt like that was part of it.
I feel like every time my wife, she has like she's magical. She's a magical human. Every time she goes and does like any sort of press tour, and so there will always be like that something that, because she's just, I don't know, she just talks about things in such a human way that, and she just talks about the human experience so intimately that there's always something that she says that people attach to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, this time around it seems like for you, everybody, last night was the Grammys and Harry Styles won for album of the year.
Yeah, this thing became a whole thing.
Yeah, it sounds like maybe
Pretty
you could
embarrassing.
call him up.
What's embarrassing?
Didn't know who he was.
By the way, he could walk in here right now. I probably still wouldn't know who he is. Like, I don't.
But faces aren't. You're not great with faces.
I'm good with faces.
Okay.
I just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't care about pop culture. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I like if like the founder of Chat GPT-3 walked in here, I'd be
Right.
like, oh, I know that's Sam Altman.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I have
yeah.
no idea
Or-
what you just said.
The AI.
Or if like
Don't know.
if the founder of Instagram, Kevin Systrom, walked in here, I'd be like, oh, it's Kevin. Like, I know who that. Like, I just don't. Like, I can tell you what's going on with the Hubble telescope, and I can tell you what the latest advances are in, biochemical engineering, and I can tell you how close we are to having nuclear fusion, and I can tell you what's happening with the debt crisis and what's happening with the reign of U.S. supremacy in the global economy and like I know those are the things that I read about in the news.
Yeah.
I don't read about Harry Styles, right? Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I get information. My wife reads about what's going on with the. And so she'll tell me things like about like his last movie, and there was a thing with the other actor, but I don't know anything about it. Like, I genuinely don't know.
Yeah.
And she always makes fun of me.
Would
'cause
love
she's-
to know her take on the drama for Don't Worry, Darling.
She always like will be driving in the car and she's like, oh my God, it's so and so with the such and such of the thing on the Beverly Hills housewife thing, and I'm like, I don't know who that is. I don't know. Like, I do not know. Like, I know the Watermelon song because my kids listen to it, and so I know that. But like, I still do, like. Lizzo could be sitting in here. I don't know what she looks like. I know her. I've heard her songs.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, I don't know. I know who Lizzo is, and I feel very proud about the fact that I actually even
you just
know
threw out
that.
a name.
Yes.
You know what? And
Very
you know
relevant
what?
name.
That's
She's a
okay.
very important singer
That's
right
okay.
now.
Yes.
And like, she's a very important figure, but I don't know who she is.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But now you'll never like. You think Harry Styles will stay with you now after that incident, or no?
I still
Yeah,
He
still-
doesn't know.
if there was like a row, I know he's like a handsome guy, and I know he's about like 5'10" or something. He's a shorter guy.
Yeah.
Because I was there in person, I saw him. But if there were like 5 guys in here right now, and they were all dark hair, about 5'10" and handsome guys, I'm not sure I could tell you which one was Harry Styles. I'm telling
Fair
you.
enough.
Yeah.
Now, if they sang, I might be like, oh,
Right.
that's the guy.
And they would have to all be dressed the same
I'm
because
tell-
he has a
That's
very
the kara-
unique style.
That's the karaoke guy.
Okay, look. I used to go to karaoke at the farmers market on Fairfax in Los Angeles when I first moved out there, and I would go on like Sundays, and you'd get like a pitcher of beer and sit and listen to people sing karaoke. And there were like these ringers that would show up that you were like, oh, that guy, man. It was like Proud Mary, and the guy would get up and sing Proud. You'd be like, oh my God, he's amazing, right? Or like somebody would come in and they would sing like some Meatloaf song, and you'd be like, that is the greatest version of that song I've ever heard. They were just karaoke ringers.
Yeah.
This guy got up and sang, and I was like, this dude's a ringer. Like, he's a karaoke ringer. Like, I didn't know. And by the way, this is like 5 years ago too. Like, he was like in some D12 band or something.
It's a compliment to him still.
Yeah, he was great. He's an unbelievable. Like, if you don't know,
It's a genuine compliment.
And you know what's great?
You
He
gave him a
sang.
genuine
He sang
compliment.
live, and he was great.
if you don't know who he is and you just watch him perform, you're like, that guy's good. I'll tell you that. Like, because you know how some people where you're like, oh, they're famous, and you're like, I don't know if they're that good, or like we think they're that good because everybody else thinks they're that good.
Yep.
There are those people, and they're out there, and
Yeah.
we all are thinking of one, right? Harry Styles is not that person. When you see him go, it's like you're like, oh, that guy's good. He's got it, right? It's like Bruno Mars. Like, you're never gonna see Bruno Mars play. See another person who I know. You never.
Seems like you're paying a little bit more attention than you let on.
You're never gonna see Bruno Mars play and be like, I think like he's getting by on the fact that he's Bruno Mars, because he's not. Because he's epic. He's so good.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Yeah. So people
Exactly.
can't be mad that you wouldn't know him because you're giving him such a compliment.
It's even more props.
It is.
Yeah, exactly.
It's even
100%.
more props.
I agree.
You don't be mad at somebody for not knowing who somebody famous is.
Yeah.
Like, what do you? Come on.
I agree with that. I totally agree. We're getting the wrap up segment.
Yeah, we do
but
have to wrap
it up.
One
Wrap it
last
up.
question.
Was it lovely?
It was lovely. I was thinking of a. I thought it was lovely.
Like 4.
Like, I think
10?
a little high. Like, I would give like a. We can't go 10 out of 10, so I would do like 9.4.
Yeah. Wow, that's high. I
0.4. Oh, that's high.
was gonna say like
lower
I was gonna say
8.
like 8, 9.
It's gonna
8, 9.
8, 9 only because I wish we had more
Wish
time.
we had more time. Yeah, I agree.
Oh, look at
That's
that.
sweet.
Isn't that sweet?
But one last question to wrap it up, because we are
Yeah.
going to ask you to take a picture after this to promote the episode. People have been talking about you and Reese Witherspoon's pictures on the red
I
carpet.
don't even know if you saw this.
And that they're awkward and you guys won't put
I
your
did
arms
not
around
see
each
it.
other.
You guys got
Okay,
memed. You've been
hold on.
memed.
You-
Hold on.
yes.
Hold on. I did not see it for obvious reasons, because I don't look at
Yes.
these things. But my wife called me and was like, this is the craziest thing. And like she texted Reese and I together, and she's like, guys, you gotta act like you like each other. and I'm like, what's going on? And then the director of the film, Aline McKenna, was like, there's this crazy meme going on. She told me yesterday, and I was like, what? I
It
was like,
says it looks like you guys are in a school photo.
here's the thing, okay? All right, here's the thing. If I put my arm around her and was like all friendly with her, I'd be having an affair with her. Like, that would, the rumor would be that I'm having an affair with her.
Right.
If I stand next to her, I put my hands in my pockets, so there's no chance that like that could be the rumor. The rumor is we don't like each
Yeah,
other.
you guys hate each other.
Yeah.
Reese and I are really good friends. We're really close. I don't have to defend that.
He's overthinking the picture.
I don't have to defend it. Like, and by the way, there are 50 more pictures where we're laughing, or I'm like whispering something in her ear, or she's saying something to me and she's laughing and I'm laughing. If you edit out the pictures where we're sitting there going, why are all these fucking people shooting pictures of us and thinking that and yelling our names out when you're like, because you're standing on a carpet. You can't, if you've never been on a red carpet, you stand on the carpet in front of a backdrop. There are 50 people in front of you. They're all screaming your name out. I can't hear very well because I'm hard of hearing in one ear and I can only hear in the other. I don't know who's yelling my name, but I know there's a lot of people yelling, Reese, Ashton, over here, look at this one, look at that one, look at that. And at a certain point, you're looking and you're like, God, this is really something. Like, this is what we do for a living. And you're like, all right, okay, which one? Look at the camera, got it. Okay, are we done? Mm-hmm. Awesome. And then you shuffle down the line like 2 inches and do the same thing again for like 20 minutes. If you're going to tell me in that entire 20-minute period, at one point, you're not going to have an awkward face on, then you're better than I am, and I'm cool with that.
Guys, well,
perfect way to end it.
They have amazing chemistry in the movie Your Place or Mine on Netflix February 10th. Make sure it's a great Valentine's Day. You stay home, you want to be with your girlfriends, your boyfriend, your husband, whoever it is. Check out this movie. We're bringing rom-coms back. Ashton is back bringing rom-coms back, and Reese too. It's a perfect combo, and you'll see all the chemistry in the movie.
You'll see it in the film.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
All right, that wraps up today's episode. We hope you guys enjoyed it. We will talk to you on Friday. Make sure you subscribe, like, do whatever you do. We love you guys. Talk to you on Friday.